Hello and welcome to Lore of the Storm, the series that looks to uncover the lore behind your favourite heroes in Heroes of the Storm. With the recent release of Overwatch, I'd be a fool not to base my next Lore of the Storm episode on an Overwatch character. As you're no doubt all aware, there's only one Overwatch hero I can really choose for this episode. The notable fan favourite and some might say mascot of Blizzard's new IP. That's right, it can only be Widowmaker. What's that? She's not a hero, you say? Nah, but she is the design for Nova's new skin. And let's face it, Tracer's been covered elsewhere and there's not too much I can add to her tale. I'll wait till the universe is a bit more fleshed out before taking a look at Tracer. I think it's important to start our first Overwatch episode with an Overwatch of Overwatch itself. 30 years from Overwatch's present, the Omnic crisis occurred. The Omniker Corporation had created and patented robots capable of self-improvement, adapting themselves to the changing needs of the world. It was thought that these Omniums would usher in a golden age of peace and prosperity and trigger an economic boom, benefiting billions. It was not long before these promises rang hollow. The Omniums were unreliable, many of them breaking down and causing them to fall way short of producing the growth that the Omniker Corporation had promised. This led to Omniker itself being investigated, and when signs of fraud were discovered, the company was promptly dissolved. This in turn led to the Omniums themselves being shut down. However, the Omniums did not remain sleeping. To humanity's surprise, the Omniums rebooted themselves with no outside input. The functioning machines did not return to the task they were once set to, but launched a war against humanity. The Omnium attack covered the entire world and countries desperately needed to defend their own lands, unable to think of offering combined aid to their allies. The militaries of the world fought as hard as they could, but no country had the individual force required to permanently shut down a single Omnium. The versatility that Omniker once boasted about made the Omnium a near unstoppable opponent. When a tactic was developed against the Omnium, they quickly found a counter. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of the Omnic crisis was that the Omnium had no demands, no conditions to end their attack. They continued to fight, and nobody understood why. With no country able to even establish a strong foothold in their own territory, it was clear humanity needed to develop an initiative, some new tactic to establish dominance over the Omnium threat, and thus Overwatch was established. While it was possibly not the only initiative humanity attempted, it was easily the most successful. Despite humanity's desperate situation, some soldiers and strategists had presented remarkable ingenuity when dealing with the Omnium threat. These individuals were brought together by the United Nations to form the first Overwatch team. Jack Morrison, Gabriel Reyes, Anna Amari, Reinhard Wilhelm, Torbjorn Lindholm, and Liao, a hero we currently know nothing about. Other than being a part of the initial Overwatch strike force, Liao appears not to be related to any of the current heroes. Through several covert missions, the Overwatch team, risking life and limb, were able to destroy the Omnic's command and control protocols. This rendered the Omnic army inert, and finally freed the world from the Omnic crisis. With its success, Overwatch was allowed to grow, the organisation focusing on maintaining stability throughout the globe. This would see Overwatch clash with rogue Omnics, terrorist groups, and warmongering dictators. Many of the world's enemies fell before the righteous organisation. Overwatch grew to incorporate many agents, all uniquely specialised in different threats to the world. Medicine. Angela Ziegler was drafted in for her expertise in this area. Environmental studies. Mei Ling Zhao taking part in one of Overwatch's initiatives. And experimental weapon development. One of the products of this being Soldier 76's pulse rifle. More and more members were drafted in to help Overwatch deal with their global defence of the Earth. Two other notable individuals, both from France, were Gerard Lacroix and his wife, Amélie. Gerard was selected to spearhead Overwatch's operations against the terrorist group, Talon. Clearly believers in the doctrine that without a head the rest of the beast would die, Talon targeted Gerard, but every attempt made on the Overwatch agent's life ended in failure. Frustrated by their continual failure, Talon altered their target, choosing instead to go after Amélie. Talon finally tasted success, managing to kidnap Amélie. With this new piece upon their chessboard, Talon were able to enact a truly devious plan. Amélie was subjected to neural reconditioning. Over time, Talon were able to break her will and suppress the personality that had once sought to help bring justice to the world. With Amélie now completely broken, they reprogrammed her to become a sleeper agent for the terrorist organisation. Overwatch agents mounted a rescue to recapture Amelie, relieved to find that she appeared to be no worse for wear. She returned to life with her beloved husband. 2 weeks later, she had murdered Gerard in his sleep. The Overwatch initiative had its fair share of critics, worried about one group having so much power. Allegations of assassinations, human rights violations, coercion and kidnapping swirled around the organisation. When several of these allegations were outed as truth, the United Nations disbanded Overwatch, stating the organisation made aggressive and repeated violations of many countries' sovereignty. Events such as Amelie's betrayal could have only exacerbated this issue. Her mission complete, murderer of her own husband, Amelie returned to Talon. Here, the terrorist organisation finished what they had started, turning Amelie into a living weapon. She was trained in covert arts and outfitted with an arsenal to make her the perfect assassin. First, the Widow's Kiss sniper rifle. As well as being a devastating weapon for such a skilled marksman, it could retract to allow Amelie to deal with targets at a closer range. Venom mines gave her the ability to deny areas to her targets. Hooks upon the mines allowed them to be placed on floors, ceilings and walls, and when a hostile target entered the range of the Venom mine, the device's motion sensor triggers tripped, and the deadly ordnance administered its poison dose to the unsuspecting victim. Her grappling hook allowed Amelie to reach the perfect sniping position, take a shot and make a swift escape before her presence was even noticed. Finally, Amelie's recon visor allowed her to track electromagnetic radiation and heat signatures through multiple walls and relay this information to her allies, giving them a greater picture of the battlefield and denying her next victim any hiding place. Her physiology was also changed. Talon drastically slowed her heartbeat, suppressing any emotion, making her aim more accurate and turning her into a merciless killer. This process also gave her a new appearance, turning her skin blue. The woman she once was, now well and truly dead, Amelie adopted her new name, Widowmaker. Like female widow spiders which kill their partners after mating, Widowmaker had killed her husband, made a widow by her own actions. I believe it's likely Widowmaker chose her new name personally, remembering what she was told about spiders as a little girl, that they had no emotion and their hearts didn't beat. Her tattoo is also a play on a French superstition to do with spiders. If you see a spider at the start of your day, you'll have bad luck. See it at the end, tomorrow you'll have good luck. Widowmaker's tattoo reads, Evening Spider, Nightmare, indicating that if anyone should cross with her, Widowmaker would become their waking nightmare. Widowmaker became Talon's greatest assassin, and has developed a rivalry with the Overwatch agent Tracer. One of Widowmaker's assassinations has once again spiraled the world into a state of uncertainty, killing the Omnic spiritual leader, Takata Mondata. After the Omnic crisis, several of the robotic outcasts experienced a spiritual awakening, establishing a monastery in the Himalayas. After years of meditative searching, the robots came to the conclusion that they, like humans, had a soul. Upon discovering this, Takata led many of his followers from the monastery, seeking to heal the wounds of the Omnic crisis and to bring humans and Omnics together in societal harmony. While Takata was addressing a crowd with his message of unity, Widowmaker struck. Tracer did her best to thwart Widowmaker's assassination attempt, but in the end, the spider killed her prey, the only action that now makes Widowmaker feel alive. With Mondata's death, human and Omnic tensions are at an all-time high since the Omnic crisis. An all-out war looks to be inevitable. More recently, Widowmaker has been seen to be working with the mercenary Reaper. Numbani, also known as the City of Unity due to the close and friendly relations between Omnics and humans, was celebrating the Unity Day festival, celebrating the many successes humans and Omnics have been able to achieve together. The collaboration between human and Omnic has seen Numbani become one of the most technologically advanced cities in the world in a startlingly short period of time. As part of the Unity Day celebrations, an exhibit was put together remembering the Overwatch initiative, which had the gauntlet of the infamous Doomfist as one of its exhibits. Doomfist was a name taken on by several individuals, one of which defeated by Winston, his gauntlet now on display. Rumoured to be capable of levelling a skyscraper, it was a devastating weapon. Widowmaker and Reaper sought to claim the Doomfist gauntlet. Evidently, their plans were discovered, as they were attacked by Tracer and Winston en route. Despite this interference, Reaper and Widowmaker were able to find their way into the museum. Holding off Winston and Tracer, Widowmaker came close to claiming the gauntlet, but became distracted when Winston entered a state of primal rage. With the unlikely aid of two children, Tracer and Winston were able to thwart Widowmaker and Reaper. Widowmaker took a full force punch from the Doomfist and was walking again in seconds. So either she is extremely resistant to pain, or the Doomfist's power depends on the operator, as at this time it was only a child throwing a surprise punch at the assassin, who was distracted by what she thought were more immediate threats. So, there you have it, what we know so far of the lore surrounding the infamous assassin, Widowmaker. No doubt this will be outdated when a comic is released, but hey, it'll give people in the future something to comment about. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, like, subscribe and share this video around, helping 6Gamers soar up the YouTube world rankings as if we had just been struck by Doomfist's gauntlet. Or you could become our nightmare spider and hit the dislike button. You can follow us on Twitter @the6gamers and on Facebook /6gamersuk. Till next time, I hope to see you in the Nexus, and long may your watch continue.